Do you feel like it's getting harder and harder to make money these days? And that no matter how hard you hustle, you're barely scraping by? Let me tell you an incredibly cruel truth. Your money hasn't vanished into thin air. It is quietly being transferred in an unprecedented global wealth reshuffle. Right, now countless people between the ages of 25 and 50 are trapped by the illusion of stability and outdated business mindsets, reduced to being fleeced by others. If you still have a little savings, and if you don't want to be completely left behind in the next decade, please shut the door, quiet your mind, and read this message to the very. What I am about to share is a fundamental business operating system you've never heard before. A true wealth code that can turn a single individual into a multinational army. Miss these next few minutes, and you might lose your ultimate chance to turn your life around at this very moment. Whether you are squeezing onto a New York subway, rushing through the streets of Tokyo, or staring blankly at a computer screen in an office building in Beijing or Shanghai, I ask you for just 10 minutes. Put down what you are doing and listen. I know that countless people aged 25 to 50 are enduring deep inner turmoil right now. You are at the halftime of your life. Mortgages, car loans, your children's education, and the pressure of caring for aging parents are weighing on your shoulders like mountains. Every time you open your phone, the screen is flooded with news of massive tech layoffs, physical stores closing, and businesses going under. You might wake up in the dead of night, stare at the ceiling, and ask yourself, why do I feel further away from wealth even though I am working so hard? What on earth is wrong with the world? Let me tell you, the world isn't broken. People's perception of it is just skewed. Many simply blame their current hardships on a bad economy. But do you know that every time the economy seemingly collapses, it is fundamentally a massive global redistribution of wealth? In the word crisis, danger is always followed by opportunity. The seasons of the economy, I have practiced Tai Chi for many years. Tai Chi emphasizes the alternation of yin and yang. Where there is a fall, there is a rise. The underlying logic of the economy is exactly the same. It's an irreversible cycle. Wall Street elites love to use complex charts and confusing acronyms to explain economic cycles, leaving everyday people baffled. In plain English, the economic cycle is just like the four seasons. The past decade was the summer of the global economy. Even a pig could fly if it stood in the right draft of wind. If you made money back then, it wasn't necessarily because you were a genius or had a brilliant business model. You just caught a good season. If you were bold enough to leverage debt and expand blindly, you got rich. Everyone thought making money was easy. Everyone thought they were a business. But right now, we have entered the winter of the cycle. What is winter? Winter is the season of hibernation and the elimination of the weak. The wind has stopped, and all those flying pigs have crashed hard into the ground. People are despairing. But let me tell you, true masters and real entrepreneurs plant the seeds of life in the winter. They lay out their plans for the future when it is freezing. You absolutely cannot join the masses in their despair. You need to open. Ordinary people can't even get a foot in the door. It is only in winter, when those giants buckle under massive overhead and over-leveraged companies collapse, that vast open spaces are finally cleared for ordinary people like you. Lessons from the internet winter. Let me share an unforgettable experience of my own. Back in 2000 and 2001, we were in the middle of the global dot. Come winter, the bursting of the internet bubble. We were just starting Alibaba in an apartment in Hangzhou with a tiny bit of pooled money. How did people see us? Most thought we were lunatics or even scammers. The Nasdaq plummeted, and countless internet companies with billion-dollar valuations went bankrupt overnight. Getting a single penny from investors was harder than climbing to heaven. Competitors were panicking, firing people left and right, or selling their company. During an internal meeting, our team was terrified, but I told our 18 founders, the more others panic, the calmer we must be. Winter is freezing, and everyone is shivering in the snow. Whoever can grit their teeth and survive 1 second longer will live to see the spring sun. We focused entirely on one core mission. How can we help small and medium-sized enterprises who are currently suffering sell the inventory sitting in their warehouses? We believed in one absolute truth. The worse the economy, the more desperately small factory owners need customers. If we could use the internet to connect them with buyers across the ocean, even if we only help them make $1 extra of profit, they would trust us from the bottom of their hearts. Back then, our salespeople rode broken bicycles, knocking on factory doors, getting chased by dogs, or driven out by security guards, while others were wailing about the bad economy. What were we doing? We were braving the blizzard, heads down, digging our gold mine. By the time the incredibly difficult SARS period hit in 2003, not only had we survived, but we also launched Taobao right in the middle of the crisis. If that cruel winter hadn't frozen our competitors, who only knew how to tell fairy tales but couldn't execute. And if we had just laid flat and complained like everyone else. Look closely. Who is swimming naked now that the tide has gone out? It's the smart people who played with fake concepts, high financial leverage, and rolled over debt. They made quick money on sheer audacity and thought they ruled the world. Now, the tide has receded, the capital chain is broken, and they have lost everything. And who is quietly digging for gold in the dark? It is the people who pragmatically return to the essence of business, those who provide truly irreplaceable value to others. Consumers today, whether in New York, Tokyo, Beijing, or Paris, are calculating every penny. Right now, if you can save someone 10 minutes, cut their cost by $1, or just provide genuine emotional comfort to an anxious crowd, you will make an endless stream of money in this winter. For my friends aged 25 to 50, this is a precious golden age. You have taken a beating from society. You have life experience. You've suffered losses. You've been fooled, and your minds are mature at this critical turning point. Do not join the internet mobs complaining about the macro environment. Complaining is the cheapest, most useless garbage in the world. It only drains your scarce energy and changes absolutely. What you must do immediately is wake up and force your brain's operating system to switch from summer mode to winter mode. Winter does not tolerate blind expansion. Winter requires absolute focus and deep cultivation. Take inventory of your past experiences and figure out in the current landscape. What tiny, microscopic pain point can I solve for a few people around me? Or a few dozen people on the internet? Trust me, in the next 10 years, global wealth will undergo an unprecedented reorganization. The wealth of the future will flow like spring meltwater to ordinary individuals who understand how to ride the economic cycle and master the new tools of this era, the fall of the giants and the rise of the super individual sins. This is the trend. The question is, in the past, our generation fought tooth and nail to get into Fortune 50 companies. If we started a business, the goal was always to go big. But in the coming era, that old road is a dead end. We were educated to study hard, go to a good university, and squeeze into a prestigious multinational corporation to secure an iron rice bowl. Even entrepreneurs dreamed of hiring hundreds of people, renting the fanciest office floor, and traveling with bodyguards. What is the current state of those arrogant corporate giants? Due to blind expansion, they are incredibly bloated. When the market shifts even slightly, they can't turn the ship around. They are like the Titanic, majestic on the outside. But even when the captain sees the iceberg, spinning the wheel does nothing to avoid the crash. To protect their Wall Street earnings reports, they resort to the cruelest tactic: massive layoffs. Mid-level managers who grinded in their cubicles for over a decade, reaching 35 or 40 with elderly parents and young kids, are suddenly swept out the door with a single email. I see many people in this age bracket panicking after a career crisis, frantically blasting out resumes online, trying to squeeze back into that massive system to find a false sense of security. Stop wasting your energy. The wheels of the era have violently shifted tracks. The old era of worshipping big companies and massive capital is accelerating toward collapse. Who will the spotlight hit next? It will shine on the small and beautiful individuals who know how to survive globally. I've said it countless times, but in the coming decades, it will absolutely be fast fish eat slow fish. In Tai Chi, there is a move called using 4 ounces to deflect 1,000 pounds. It's all about flexibility and using speed to defeat slowness. Think about it. If a multinational giant with tens of thousands of employees wants to launch a product for a niche market, what's the process? The marketing department does 3 months of research. The product team spends half a month pitching it. Finance stores the budget for a month. And legal nitpicks the contracts. By the time they finish their bureaucratic nightmare, the opportunity is dead and buried. But your personal advantage as an independent individual or a small team of 3 to 5 people, you can spot a niche demand halfway across the globe on social media. Design a solution in hours, build a landing page, and start collecting money immediately. This is the speed the elephant can never achieve, and it is your deadliest weapon. The tech dividend, erasing the borders. Many people shake their heads when I say globalized survival. They self-sabotage. Teacher Ma, my English is terrible. I only have a few $1,000s in savings. You want me, a regular guy. You don't realize What an incredible technological dividend we are living in over the last 20 years. The foundational infrastructure of global business has been completely flattened. Look at what we have: cloud computing, high-speed global social media, instant cross, border payment systems, and advanced logistics networks that can deliver a 50-cent trinket to any corner of the earth. 20 years ago, only hyper-rich multinationals, they used these heavy assets to create a monopoly. But today, those insurmountable walls have been shattered by tech. They are now the incredibly cheap public utilities of humanity, as long as you have a standard laptop connected to the internet. You alone are the equivalent of a multinational regular army. Let me give you a real example. I know a guy in his late 30s who did supply chain management for a traditional manufacturing firm. When business slowed, he was optimized out of a job. He was crushed by his mortgage at first, but then he completely flipped his mindset. He stopped begging for 9 to -5 jobs and instead used his deep expertise to open a zero inventory consulting window online. His clients weren't locals. They were micro-entrepreneurs in Europe, North America, and the Middle East trying to source parts from Asia. Their pain points were clear. They didn't understand Asian factories, feared being scammed, and worried about quality control. This guy sat in his bedroom, used advanced translation software to communicate flawlessly with foreigners, filtered reliable factories for them. He had no heavy assets, paid no exorbitant office rent, didn't have to kiss a boss's ring, and didn't have to pay salaries or benefits to dozens of employees. Yet, his monthly net profit was several times higher than when he was a department head at a Fortune 50 company. This is the highest state of what I call small is beautiful. Many people's brains are stuck in the industrial age, thinking a business must be a behemoth to be successful. That's simply not true. You don't start a business to be big. You start it to be good. You don't do it to be powerful, but to be healthy. And in the coming era, a family of 3 or a few like-minded friends don't need massive capital. You just need to fiercely guard one hyper, niche, highly vertical sector, polish an irreplaceable service. Leverage the internet. And out of billions of people on earth, if you can just flawlessly serve 1,000 die-hard fans, you will live an incredibly decent, free, and wealthy life. Embracing big data and AI. The new weapons when you hear I or big data. Do you feel fear and resistance? People either think it is for Silicon Valley geniuses, or they lose sleep worrying a robot will steal their job. Both mindsets are completely wildly wrong. Every massive explosion in foundational technology isn't designed to eliminate everyday people. It is designed to hand a razor-sharp sword to the ordinary people brave enough to embrace the change. We must view tech through Tai Chi. If you fight it head on, you will be crushed. If you learn to borrow its momentum and turn it into your weapon, you will unleash terrifying power. Let's pull big data off its pedestal. Why does she always save the best cut of ribs for you? Because she has a ledger in her head. She knows you walk by every Friday at 5 p.m. She knows you have a growing kid. And she knows your wife hates fatty meat. That is data. The internet just scales that butcher's intuition to billions of people. In the past, this precious resource was siphoned off by tech giants. But today, ordinary people can turn their data exhausts into gold by using cheap analytics tools to understand exactly when and what their customers want. This is using data to capture the mind. And what about AI? Think of it as the popularization of electricity. 100 years ago, people were terrified of electricity. Today, do you need to know how a coal plant works to turn on your fridge? Number, you just need to know where the switch is. I is exactly the same. You don't need to write a single line of code. You just need to know how to ask it questions and give it commands. You can treat it as an incredibly cheap, practically free, totally tireless super. Employee, look at this real story. I know a nearly 40-year-old single mother who didn't even finish college. Her hometown makes traditional woven crafts. Previously, these were, but she learned to use AI sitting at her dining table. She started selling these crafts to Europe and the Middle East. She doesn't speak English or Arabic, no problem. She uses AI translation software to speak like a native trade agent. She can't write marketing copy. She feeds photos to an AI, says, attract European women who like vintage styles, and gets 3 highly persuasive English ad drafts in 10 seconds. She can't afford a photographer. She uses AI image tools to seamlessly place her woven bags against the backdrop of the Eiffel Tower or a luxury hotel in Dubai. By flipping the AI switch, this single mom is doing the work of a 15-person export company all by herself with zero overhead, keeping all the profit. This is turning AI into your personal money print. AI lacks empathy. It cannot replace the life experience, pain, and human understanding of a 25 to 50-year-old. It replaces mechanical tool people, but it can never replace a mastermind with independent thought and business insight. Stop selling products. Start selling meaning. Now, if you take these global tools and still rely on your old mindset of buying low and selling high, you will be slaughtered. Your poverty isn't because you aren't working hard. It is because your business operating system is too outdated to run the. In the past, business was about information arbitrage, knowing where cheap goods were when others didn't. Today, the internet has flattened the world. A consumer in New York can see the factory floor price of a good in Asia on their phone. If you try to fight the price war against super factories, you will grind yourself to death. In an era of severe overcapacity, the world does not lack goods. What the world lacks is meaning. It lacks emotional value. It lacks resonance in the depths of the soul. If you are just selling a physical product, you are dead. You will only get rich if you learn to sell resonance. Look at this grassroots example. A man in his late 40s had a factory in Guangdong making standard solid wood office desks. Business dried up, and a brutal price war left him unable to pay his workers. He was devastated. Go look at the people using the desks and figure out what is torturing them inside. he completely pivoted. He stopped making soulless desks and targeted a hyper-specific demographic, middle-aged white collar workers globally. Age 25-50, enduring massive psychological. He built a desk with an incredibly smooth standing. Desk mechanism. But he added a brilliant design, a small build, in groove designed perfectly to hold a white noise machine and a miniature Zen rock garden. His website showed one scene. 1 a.m., a man in his 30s sitting alone in the dark. Illuminated only by the soft light of his miniature Zen garden, listening to the sound of rain in his headphones. This is a dimensional strike stressed. Out professionals across the ocean saw that image and almost cried. Were they buying a wooden desk? Absolutely not. They were buying a momentary gasp of air in the dead of night. A desk that used to sell for $50 and get nitpicked by clients was now selling for hundreds of dollars. People were voluntarily promoting it on social media as the most healing office artifact of the year. In Tai Chi, we say, focus on the intent, not the form. The physical product is cheap and easily replicated by a factory line. The emotional resonance inside it is priceless. Ask yourself, what are my customers terrified of? What are they anxious about? As someone aged 25 to 50, you hold the best cards because you know the taste of suffering. Inject your deep empathy into your service. When you can emotionally connect with a peer struggling on the other side of the planet, your business is unstoppable. The 3 core abilities and the fallacy of the iron rice bowling. This turbulent era, what guarantees you won't be eliminated? I know what you crave. Our elders told us to find an iron rice bowl. But look at the world. Tech iterations and supply chain reorganizations are hitting like a Category 5 hurricane. Even century-old banks and massive... Do you really think they can protect you for a lifetime? The biggest risk you can take right now is desperately chasing superficial stability. It's like a tiger in a zoo. The zookeeper throws meat, but if the zoo goes bankrupt and the tiger is thrown into the jungle, it can't even catch a rabbit and will starve to death. That's why people who sit in cubicles for 15 years break down when they get laid off. Strip away the title of senior manager. Throw them into the real commercial jungle, and they realize they have zero survival skills. Shatter the illusion of the iron rice bowl. Take control of your fate. You must forge 3 formidable abilities. The super learning ability to zero out and reinstall AI updates every few months. Business models flip every half year. Past experience is baggage. You must act like a computer that can format its hard drive and instantly download the latest operating system. Turn your name into hard. Whether you make videos, write, or consult, make sure clients in North America and Europe trust you as a person. In a trust-scarce internet era, your personal reputation is an intangible asset that never depreciates. Become a borderless super connector. Spot the tiny pain point of a European demographic. Find the ultra low-cost solution in an Asian factory and connect them. You don't need ships or factories. Stand in the middle. When you are a node connecting global resources, you are beware the harvesting sickles. 2 fatal traps now. I must pour a bucket of cold water on you. Because when people are most desperate to make money and change their fate, their IQ is at its lowest, and they are most vulnerable to being fleeced. As you sit in this sandwich generation with a little hard-earned savings, watching inflation eat away at it, you are anxious. And let me tell you, scammers in fancy suits have mapped out your exact psychological state. They are wielding shiny sickles, staring dead at your principle. If you encounter these 2 typical traps, run for your life. Fatal Trap 1. The high-tech something-for-nothing Ponzi scheme. Web 3, the metaverse. They promise that if you just deposit your money, the system will automatically earn you 10% or 30% a month. Use your common sense. Warren Buffett is worshipped globally because his annualized return hovers around 20%. If someone could blindly make 15% a month, they aren't trying to make you rich. They are after your principle. Fatal Traps 2. The get-rich-quick fake e-commerce scam. The Zero. Inventory cross. You pay thousands of dollars in franchise fees, and they give you an exclusive AI system to build an overseas store. You just sit back and watch the dollars roll in, right? The truth, you just bought a soulless, empty shell of a website filled with garbage products. Without their business model isn't teaching you to sell. Their business model is selling you the empty shell to harvest your IQ tax. True money. Making is plain and unglamorous. What is the essence of business? It is grinding hard to find the troubles people are facing, and then sweating to solve those troubles. You create irreplaceable value, and in return, you earn your profit. Protecting your principle is protecting the lifeblood of your entire family. The ultimate truth. The greatest selfishness is selflessness. If we can't make money lying down, and the old path of going big is dead. All scams succeed because of our extreme anxiety and extreme selfishness. We are too desperate to shove money into our own pockets. In the business world, there is a deeply counter-intuitive absolute truth. The greatest selfishness is selflessness. When I say altruism, I don't mean throwing cash in the streets. Altruism is the sharpest, coldest, and most highly efficient commercial harvesting weapon in the world. Most people are broke because they wake up every day thinking, how can I get money out of other people's pockets? The second the consumer feels you reaching for their wallet, their first instinct is to guard it with their life. The core of business is never making money. The ultimate essence is solve problems. Eliminate society's complaints. Wherever there are complaints, there is wealth. He realized that small craft sellers in South America and Southeast Asia were being crushed by exorbitant international shipping fees. He built a minimalist group, buying websites, using his deep knowledge of Asian logistics. He negotiated rock-bottom prices with major carriers. He had the sellers ship their small parcels to a transit warehouse to be bundled. He took a shipping fee that originally cost $30 and slashed it to $10. Out of that $20 he saved them, he exercised extreme restraint and took just a $2 service fee. Today, he processes tens of thousands of parcels globally a day and has achieved total financial freedom when you dedicate your heart and soul to helping 10,000 strangers save $100 a month. They will willingly shove their money into your hands. In a world full of uncertainty, when you stop agonizing over your own gains and losses and start empowering strangers globally, the doors to wealth will be kicked wide open. According to the pillars of society, I have reviewed the core framework. Anyone promising you can make money lying down or demanding your principal for a franchise is a fraud coming for your family's lifeline. Second, stop complaining about the economy. Your opportunity lies entirely in small. It's beautiful. Master AI, throw away your rusty buy. Low, sell high brain. Go to the global internet. Sell emotional resonance. Solve problems for strangers. And you will naturally become wealthy. To my friends in the 25 to 50 golden age bracket, you cannot fall. You are not just the pillars of your families. You are the backbone of this world and this society. I have poured my heart out to you because I want you to understand that the greatest wealth in the world isn't making a fortune in silence. It is empowering others and solving society's problems. It is wonderful if you alone can avoid bankruptcy and ride the AI wave. But look around you. You have brothers and sisters struggling in the dark, perhaps right on the verge of being scammed out of everything they own. I implore you, forward this message without hesitation to the young people around you, to the lost entrepreneurs, and to your friends in financial distress. You aren't just sharing a message. You are passing the fire of a cognitive awakening that can alter destinies. If a friend avoids a fatal trap or changes the trajectory of their life because of your share, you are performing the greatest charity of our era. You only achieve true success by helping others succeed. When you become a conduit for positive business energy, you will naturally attract a high-quality network of fighters. That karma is worth more than gold. If these words have pierced your heart and inspired your path forward, please like this post and follow this channel immediately. Every like and share is accumulating the highest level of business karma for yourself. At the same, go to the comments section right now and leave your truest entrepreneurial realizations, or boldly write down your wealth ambitions for the next 10 years. Don't fear being laughed at. Write down your ambitions and your pain points. Let's turn the comments into a magnet. Let everyone who passes through draw strength from your words. The curtain of a new era has been violently pulled open. Drop your illusions. Embrace the change. Carry your altruistic heart and go raise hell in the global markets. The road is long and the mountains are high.